You've probably said yes to something recently, even though a part of you didn't want to. Not because you had to. Not because there was no other option. But because saying no felt heavier. There's someone. Let's call her Amara. She's looking at a message on her phone. It's simple. A favor. A request. A plan she's expected to be part of. Her first reaction is immediate. She doesn't want to do it. She's already tired. Her day is already full. She's been moving from one thing to the next, without a real pause. But then something shifts. They'll be disappointed. It's not that big of a deal. I can just manage it. So now it's no longer about the request. It becomes about how she'll be perceived. Will this seem rude? Will this make things awkward? Will they think I'm selfish? She types a response. Deletes it. Types again. Softens it. Adds an explanation she doesn't even believe. And eventually, she says yes. Not because she wants to, but because it felt easier than saying no. And that is where overwhelm builds. Not from one big decision, but from small moments like this, repeated over time. It shows up in your calendar. Packed. Tight. No space to think. It shows up in your energy. You wake up tired. Even after sleeping. It shows up in your mind. Constantly thinking ahead. Trying to keep up. Trying not to drop anything. It shows up in your body too. That slight tension. That feeling of always being a little braced. Like you never fully arrive anywhere. Because part of you is always already committed to the next thing. And at some point, You start to feel like everything is too much. But the truth is, it's not everything. It's what you keep agreeing to, even when it doesn't feel right. That is a hard truth. But it is also a freeing one. Because it means the overwhelm is not only happening to you. Some of it is being built. One overridden instinct at a time. There's a moment that most people do not stay with. Right before you say yes. That split second where your answer is actually clear. No. I don't want to. I don't have capacity. This doesn't work for me. And then you override it. Because saying no doesn't just feel like a decision. It feels like risk. Risk of disappointing someone. Risk of being seen differently. Risk of creating tension. Risk of no longer being the easy one. So you avoid that. And carry the weight instead. That is why overwhelm stays. Not because you can't handle life, but because you're trying to handle everything without protecting your limits. And this is where things begin to change. You don't reduce overwhelm by becoming more productive. You reduce it by becoming more honest. Honest about your energy. Honest about your capacity. Honest about what you actually want. And honest about what happens when you keep saying yes to avoid discomfort. Because every unnecessary yes is often a postponed no. You end up paying for later. In resentment. In exhaustion. In emotional flatness. In feeling like your own life has no space in it. And that is why boundaries matter. not because they make you cold, not because they make you difficult, but because they stop your energy from being constantly negotiated away. This starts with one shift. You stop trying to make your no feel comfortable for everyone else. Because it won't always. And that's okay. You are not responsible for managing how everyone feels about your boundaries. You are responsible for where your energy goes. That is a very different kind of responsibility. Because now you are no longer asking, how do I avoid disappointing them? You are asking, what is true for me right now? So the next time that moment comes, and you feel that hesitation, pause. Not to overthink, but to listen. What do I actually have the capacity for right now? And whatever that answer is, let it be enough. You don't need a perfect explanation. You don't need a long justification. You don't need to sound endlessly apologetic. A clear no is already complete. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. You may feel the guilt. You may feel the urge to go back and soften it. That does not mean it was wrong. It often just means you are doing something new. And over time, something else happens. You start to feel lighter. Because you're no longer carrying what was never yours to hold. You are no longer saying yes just to keep everyone else comfortable. You are no longer filling your life with things your body and mind already said no to. You're not overwhelmed. You've just been saying yes when you needed to say no. And the moment you start changing that, is the moment. Your life begins to feel manageable again. Stay here for a second. Just breathing. Just noticing. Nothing to prove. Nothing to explain. Nothing to carry for anyone else. For these few seconds. Your no is not cruelty. It is clarity. And clarity is often where peace begins.